get the COVID-19 vaccine, lines for all Americans. And
Germany now has some of the world's strictest rules for people who are not fully vaccinated against COVID-19.
The Department of Labor and Employment or DOLE reiterates that COVID-19 vaccine card is not a requirement for on-site workers and not a ground to remove employees from their jobs. According to Labor Standards and Special Concerns Cluster Regional Director Assistant Secretary Maria Teresita Culcueco, they have not yet received a direct complaint, but they are also investigating the report that a company has allegedly removed an employee who has not been vaccinated.
Hi, my name is Khairul Zhafri. Today, me and my group will be presenting the topic of discrimination against unvaccinated staffs. Many people saw the availability of a vaccination as a gift after the COVID-19 has caused a global pandemic, millions of deaths, as well as the disruption of life as we have known. Organizations should be aware of local and federal vaccination laws and their employees' vaccination status at work. Some organizations mandate vaccines for in-office work, hoping to give their employees and clients confidence in returning to their offices. If organizations are not aware or careful of how they organize the changes within the law, they risk enforcing discriminatory restrictions and exposing themselves to lawsuits. So, what are the problems faced in this topic? Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, some organizations have discriminated against their employees, whether purposefully or accidentally. Unvaccinated employees have been requested to work from home, and some even have been fired due to their unvaccinated status. There is currently no legal obligations in Malaysia for the administration of the vaccine to any individual or employee. This means that the organizations cannot force their employees to vaccinate.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Mama Aqil bin Muhammad Zaidi. Okay, in these sections, I would like to briefly explain the factors that contribute to this problem. Okay, the first factor is that the employers are not taking advantage of the incentive to have their employees vaccinated. These employers have the right to request and provide the vaccinations accommodations for their employees. Employers are unaware of how this issue will affect an organization's operations in the long run. Okay, employers can provide an incentive by providing paid leave to their employees in order for them to receive the vaccines and not miss the vaccines appointment. Okay, the second factor is that many employers exploit unvaccinated workers. This context refers to employers dismissing employees and placing them on unpaid leave simply because they have not yet received the vaccinations. This is because employers want to cut their budgets because many businesses are affected by the pandemic and moving slowly. Okay, furthermore, many employers do not want to bear the cost of hospitalizations if their unvaccinated employees are hospitalized. They cannot do this to their employees because many of them want the jab, but the line is far too long. Okay, we are moving on to the next factor, which is the vaccination schedule is time consuming. Okay, employers and employees are already doing their part and taking advantage of the incentive, but the vaccination stockpiles are extremely low, preventing many people from receiving the vaccines. Many workers who need the vaccines may have to wait even longer. Okay, the government must address this issue by increasing vaccine supply and opening more immunizations clinics. Okay, the final point is that many employees still do not believe in the vaccine. Okay, these employees are skeptical because there have been many rumors on social media claiming that vaccination has many negative side effects, including death. Okay, as a result, they are afraid and refuse to have their immunizations. Okay, these people must be educated so that they do not believe the vaccine's myth. Okay, in the worst case scenario, some employees believe that COVID-19 does not exist because they have never been infected. Okay, as a result, these people must be educated about the truth, particularly how this virus works and how the vaccinations can help.
Hi, I'm Zahra. So next is the impacts of the problem. So from discrimination at workplace, the first impact would be moral decline, as when the victim will realize they are not treated fairly, they may develop resentment towards their co-workers and the management team because they are not doing anything when discrimination happens. Hence, the employee will lose focus and engage with counterproductive work behavior such as arriving late to work and also wanting to finish work early.
Have you ever worked on a project where the design team and the build team just don't communicate with one another? Keep everyone in the loop when making design changes.
Second impact is lack of communication. The unvaccinated staff may have difficulty to interact with other co-workers, not just with offenders of discrimination. This will make the work environment become inharmonized, and also work will become inefficient as the unvaccinated staff didn't get the information needed. Hence, it will impact the company's performance, productivity, as well as their job satisfaction.
Negative stress isn't just in your head. It can affect us both mentally and physically. Stress hormones in the body for extended periods of time can physically age our cells. So when you're stressed at work or home, your cells look and act older, making you look older and even impacting your immune system. Not only does it add years to your appearance, it can also affect your memory, making brain cells shrink permanently. Even short-term stress can make it hard for you to remember simple things. The good news is, you can manage stress now to prevent more damage to your body and mind tomorrow.
Lastly, health concerns. So we all know from discrimination or other form of harassment can put a person physical and mental stress. So stress can lead to negative physical outcomes like lack of sleeps or insomnia, body aches and pains, as well as high blood pressure. So from discrimination also, a person may develop mental health problem like anxiety, depression, as well as overthinking. So from mental problem, attempting to hurt their own body or suicide are all possible scenarios.
Assalamualaikum everyone, I am Nawaal Annuhaa from BA1145A. So I will be continuing with the existing solutions towards discrimination against unvaccinated staff. First and foremost, organizations have the choice to make vaccinations for staff compulsory or optional. If a company chooses to make vaccinations for staff compulsory, then the staff must first be vaccinated before they are able to continue normal work activities. For instance, in the US, companies that choose to implement this policy to their staff will be backed up by EEOC, which stands for the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. A few reasons why companies should make exceptions to unvaccinated staff are because of the disability, strong held religious beliefs, medical exemptions, and many more. Secondly, organizations must allow unvaccinated staff to work due to legally protected reasons. It is crucial for organizations to be aware of all exemptions to vaccinations. However, companies shouldn't make this a barrier to a company's performance. Organizations can enforce regular COVID-19 testing, temperature checks, screening questions, or work from home accommodation if they are too worried. Human resource teams must be trained on handling vaccination exemption requests from their employees and to ensure their validity. Next, human resource must keep vaccination status of each employee confidential to avoid any controversy. One's vaccination status should be considered private and confidential as it can lead to conflict and problems among the employees. In order to maintain a professional workplace, employers should always protect any personal and confidential information to prevent the risk of discrimination against unvaccinated staff. Employees also shouldn't be discussing their personal opinions on one's vaccination status. Last but not least, employers must be aware of the latest federal and state laws on compulsoriness of vaccinated staff. Employers which make vaccination a must for all employees cannot offer different career advancement opportunities or exclude employees from meetings, whether they are vaccinated or exempted from the vaccine. Enforcing guidelines from CDC or OSHA in employee gatherings, such as wearing masks and social distancing, could be useful to prevent the spread of COVID-19. As COVID-19 has affected our workplace tremendously, it is always changing to adapt to new and unexpected news. Thus, employers are responsible to keep companies operating efficiently while keeping their needs and opinions safe.
Hi and Assalamu alaikum. My name is Affif Iman bin Badrol Zamri from TBA1145A. So I will be presenting about recommendation and conclusion. So for the recommendation, we need to recommend a solution to solve a problem. And other than that, we need to analyze the recommendation and explain the advantages and disadvantages of each recommendation. So now we go through to the recommendation. And firstly, employers need to encourage the employees to vaccinate and boost their confidence about the effectiveness of the vaccine. So this solution is due to the problem, which is employers who are taking the advantage of unvaccinated people. Additionally, as employers, they need to know what is the big reason for the employees who refuse to take a COVID-19 vaccine and why they choose to be unvaccinated people, and is it because of health condition or lack of knowledge or else. And next, of course, there are advantages and disadvantages to the solution. And for advantages, the employees' knowledge and confidence about the COVID-19 vaccine can be a boost and for sure able to work in a safe environment. And for disadvantages, it will lead some employees to quit because they feel that compelled to need to vaccinated. Secondly, the work from home terms. This solution is due to the problem, which is unawareness of federal and state vaccination laws and policies by their organizations. Unvaccinated employees should be allowed to work from home, and if there is a need to attend to a workplace, the employees need to do regular swab tests weekly. The advantage from implementing this solution is avoiding a workplace epidemic. Meanwhile, the disadvantage of this solution is working from home is not suitable for all jobs. Next, for the conclusion, we need to choose the best recommendation based on which have many advantages. So to conclude, employers should encourage and understand why employees refuse the COVID-19 vaccination, and this recommendation is the best because of its advantages when implementing the solution. Lastly, we should use common sense while handling unvaccinated persons and avoid stereotyping them. That's all from me. Thank you.
Not very good with people. If you don't